वरदारे जय गिरिवरधारे यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना यशोदा यशोदानंदना ब्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम Rama Rama Hare 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 Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudhana Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudhana Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudhana Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan Giridhari Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Ashtotara Sat Sri Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Srila Prabhupada ki Prabhupada Anuga ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Nitai Gaura Premanande All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Daivim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. We are reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam, the the characteristics of King Puranjana. And this is from chapter 25, canto 4. I am just chapter 4, canto 4, chapter 25, text 31. Tvad ananam subhru sutaralochanam vyalambi neelalaka vrinda samvritam unniyame darshaya valguvachakam yadvridaya nabhimukam suchimismite. Please repeat. Tvad ananam subhru sutaralochanam vyalambini lalaka vrinda samvritam unniyame darshaya valguvachakam yadvridaya nabhimukham shuchismite. Tvadananam subhru sutaralochanam vyalambini lalaka vrinda samvritam unniyame darshaya valguvachakam yadvridaya nabhimukam shuchismite. Tvadananam subhru sutaralochanam vyalambini lalaka vrinda samvritam unniyame darshaya valguvachakam yadvridaya nabhimukam shuchismite. Tvat, your ananam, face, subhru, having nice eyebrows. Sutara, with nice pupils. Lochanam, eyes. Vyalambi, scattered. Neela, bluish. Alakavrinda, by locks of hair. Samvritam, surrounded. Unniya, having raised. Me, unto me. Darshaya, show. Valguvachakam, having words very sweet to hear. Yat, which face. Vridaya, by shyness. Na, not. Abhimukham, face to face. Shuchi smite, O woman with lovely smiles. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation: My dear girl, your face is so beautiful with your nice eyebrows and eyes and with your bluish hair scattered about. In addition, very sweet sounds are coming from your mouth. Nonetheless, you are so covered with shyness that you do not see my face to face. I therefore request you, my dear girl, to smile and kindly raise your head to see me. We are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, by the way. Purport: such a speech is typical of a living entity attracted by the opposite sex. This is called bewilderment occasioned by becoming conditioned by material nature. When thus attracted by the beauty of the material energy, one becomes very eager to enjoy. This is elaborately described in this instance of Puranjana's becoming attracted by the beautiful woman. In a conditional life, the living entity is attracted by a face, eyebrows or eyes, a voice or anything. In short, everything becomes attractive. When a man or a woman is attracted by the opposite sex, it does not matter whether the opposite sex is beautiful or not. The lover sees everything beautiful in the face of the beloved and thus becomes attracted. The attraction causes the living entity to fall down in this material world. This is described in Bhagavad Gita 7.27. Ichha dvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. O scion of Bharata, Arjuna, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, overcome by the dualities of desire and hate. This condition of life is called avidya. Opposed to this avidya is real knowledge. Sri Ishopanishad distinguishes between vidya and avidya, knowledge and ignorance. One becomes conditioned, and by vidya, knowledge, one becomes liberated. By avidya, ignorance, one becomes conditioned, and by vidya, knowledge, one becomes liberated. Puranjana admits herein that he is attracted by avidya. Now he wishes to see the complete feature of avidya, and so requests the girl to raise her head so that he can see her face to face. He thus wishes to see the various features that make avidya attractive. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Patakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitamatang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I would like to read a few more verses from here in due course of time. But I just wanted to read this verse and show you, like I told you, you must remember that this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And it is not inappropriate that in Srimad Bhagavatam, everything is dealt with. This description goes on and on and on. It keeps on, wonderful you are, you look like this, you look like that, this is good about you, this is good about you. And she also praises, you are so handsome, you have such long arms, you have a broad chest, you are like this, you are like that. And the conversation goes on. Sometimes you'll wonder, when will we hear about Krishna? No, this is about Krishna only. This is about how we can become unconscious of Krishna. It's about Krishna unconsciousness. How you can become separated from Krishna. And what is the reason that happens? How it happens? That is described here very nicely. So in this purport, Prabhupada is speaking about the meaning of attraction between male and female. Pumsha striya mituni bhavametam tayor mrito hridaya granti mahu. Ato grahakshetra sutapta vittai janasya moho ayam aham mameti. Very graphically described in the Bhagavatam. That's why sometimes people find it very difficult to see. So blatantly, brashly, it is being mentioned. Actually, it's true. It is true. Bhagavatam speaks the absolute truth. So the relative truth is very easy to speak. If you know the absolute truth, you have no problem about speaking anything to do in the material world. There is no right and wrong. Everything is wrong. Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, there is no good and bad in this world, everything is bad. It only appears good and bad. The good is the absolute truth. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya asatoma satgamaya. This is totally asat, it is mentioned. Inside that, what is the use of saying, this is good, this is bad? It's like saying dry stool and a wet stool. That famous example given by Prabhupada. Dry stool or wet stool, stool is stool only. It is stool. There's no point saying, no, that is dry, this is wet. Prabhupada also told us about the wet stool laughing at the dry stool. Cow dung. Cow dung patties. Sevithila poduvangala, sanadadithaithu. Adu vandu speaking to each other. The wet cow dung, still going to go on the wall and then go to the fire, is watching the dry cow dung being pushed into the fire and laughing. Teelu potanga. The wet cow dung is laughing at the dry patties going into the fire. So that is foolish, because very soon you will also be in the fire. It's a matter of time you will get dry. So wet or dry, everybody will go into the fire. Same destination. Similarly, Prabhupada told us, wet stool, dry stool, stool is stool only. So in the relative stage, inside the material world, when you make distinction of this is good, this is bad, it's actually no sense in it. There's no sense in it. But you can see a description of the relative. In the relative state, we will do all these mad things without knowing what is the truth. Without knowing what is the truth. But for a person who knows the truth, the absolute truth, this becomes irrelevant. So here Narada Muni is speaking not about woman and man getting attracted to each other. He is telling a story. In the story is hidden the absolute truth. It's a very powerful story. Amazing story. Because he is preaching to a very intelligent person who is a king and who has constantly ruling the kingdom with so many different challenges, managing many, many things. And he is engaged in something that is wrong for him. And so to him, Narada Muni is speaking in a very intelligent way. I will tell you a story. He's telling, and he's actually telling his story in a different setting. He's telling it is your story only, I'm telling. But without telling him that it is your story, he's telling this story I'll tell you. And he's telling about this person called Puranjana. And how he was roaming around. And he saw this beautiful lady called Puranjani. Pura means city. Anjana means one who enjoys that city. So here the talk is about the city. This body is a city. This body is a city of 9 gates. It's mentioned here. This city has got 9 gates, 9 entrances. That's how he's starting the story. This person is the king of that city. He is the real enjoyer of that city. So he's speaking about the spirit soul inside this body. Atma is enjoying this whole body. How? This body gets in touch with the objects of the senses. Something nice to touch, something nice to smell, something nice to see, good form, rupa, gandha, sparsha, like that, different ways. Through the instruments of the senses, objects of the senses are enjoyed. And the soul sitting inside this city of 9 gates. 9 gates, means 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, anus, rectum, genitals, all that. Together 9 holes in the body. So very sophisticatedly it is mentioned, it's a city of 9 gates. You see, this is how people talk about it. It's a city of 9 gates. And it is covered by one skin. That skin makes all the difference. That is why, it's all based on the package of the skin. Puranjana is appreciating Puranjani. Oh, beautiful you look and all that. If you remove that small skin, which is about a few, microns thick, everything is the same. Everything is the same. There is flesh, blood, marrow, bone, stool, urine, everything inside it. Everybody becomes the same if you remove the skin. One mass of people. All of them are same underneath the skin. One skin makes all the difference. And you appreciate the skin. How packaging is done for you, very different. Your packaging is very different. I like you very much. Why? Because of your packaging. Your package, he's describing the packaging. Subruhu, your eyebrows are higher. Unniya, your nose is tilted like this. It's all packaging description. Sometimes you have package, red ribbon put on top of it, sometimes simple package, sometimes design cover, sometimes sellotape hanging like this in this stone like this, very bad packaging. That is, you're born with, one leg like this, polio, the other eye blind like this. It's packaging. Wrong packaging, not very attractive. I don't want him. Packaging not good. Packaging not good. It's exactly what you're saying. So when he describes the packaging, and she is also describing, you're also packaged very nicely, fit for me. They are both talking about completely external things. But that is not the real meaning of the story. What Narada Muni is trying to say, this soul, he is completely entrapped in this body. He is thinking he is the master of the city of 9 gates. And he is getting married or getting associated with this lady, Puranjani. Who is Puranjani? Puranjani is material intelligence, covered by ignorance. And that's why he will ask her, who are all these people with you? You have 10 assistants and 1 snake with you, with 5 hoods. Who are all these people? They are all my assistants. She introduces them. And the real meaning of that is, the 5 assistants are the 5 pranas, the life force. Apana, Udana, Samana, Vyana, Prana, like all this 5 pranas. And the 10 assistants are different types of other aspects of the body, like 5 knowledge acquiring senses and the 5 working senses. And the 11th is the mind. At least 11 people are following, and there's 5 hoods are also there. And so he's asking, who you are traveling with this hood around you and this 10, 11 assistants, who are they? So she introduces, they are all my people who will assist you. We will live together and they will all assist you in enjoying. I will direct them what to do. So he's describing the city of 9 gates and the subtle body, mind, intelligence and ego. And how material intelligence is what the soul is married to. There is a greater marriage ceremony already happened inside. Already married, everybody is already married. External marriage is something come out of illusion. But the real marriage is that you are married to intelligence. Intelligence is depicted as a female. And that intelligence governs the mind underneath. And under the mind are that senses. And governing the senses are the material objects. In this way there is a hierarchy. And Narada Muni is brilliantly describing. Na sonnadellame satyam. Satyam, satyam, param satyam. Suddenly Govinda, Govinda, it's coming. I'm sure I'm speaking the truth. And it is not stopping also. Oh, stopped. Now I can speak. Thank you for the brief intermission with a little entertainment. Because it's a serious topic. You see, most people find it very difficult to listen to reality, truth. The truth is painful when you are addicted to illusion. You are addicted to illusory state. Truth is very painful. I don't want to hear this. I don't like you. Get away from here. So, Bhagavatam is full of truth. Tamil is pachaya. It speaks very raw. That's why people feel that it's not very sophisticated in speaking the truth. There's no sophistication required for speaking the truth. Only for speaking the lies, sophistication is required. When you want to tell a lie only, you'll tell very nicely. Mostly when people tell the truth, they'll say without any emotion. Because I know I'm not going to be liked. But people who tell lies, they will tell with wonderful figure of speech and entertaining words and sweet words, and they'll add all these embellishments to it because you're supposed to believe it. And when I do all these things, you will believe it. And you will believe it. I like this. Why? It's very nice to hear. Very nice. Truth is not nice to hear. Not nice to hear. That is why Narada Muni is speaking like this to Kring Pachinabari. If I tell you the truth, you will not believe it. You will not like it. So I will put it in the form of a story. And as the story is going on and on, gradually Pachinabari is hearing, it sounds like me. Towards the end he is understanding. Maybe it is me. He's slowly understanding that it is my story only. This Narada Muni is very smart. Very nicely he gave him lessons. Because if I tell you directly, you are like this, so now immediately I'll get angry. Immediately I'll get angry. That's why I said we are addicted to illusion. We don't like to hear the truth. That means when you are addicted to illusion, you don't like to hear the truth. It is only by great fortune that you get to hear the truth. It's a special blessing you have to have. Then only the truth can penetrate this illusion and come inside and make you feel, this is correct. I must wake up to this. I must wake up to this. So, 2 types of purports you will see here. One Prabhupada actually taking the literal meaning of Puranjana getting attracted and speaking about a material situation. Also he is speaking about, it describes you. It describes all of us. In this situation we are. What we are doing. Why we are doing what we are doing. And what we must do. And for that what we should do. These are very useful, important instructions given throughout the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. So here in the Puranjana story, It's a long story. And Puranjana is actually, there is a chapter about Puranjana goes to hunt. He leaves his wife home, that is Puranjani, and he goes to hunt. And Puranjani gets very disturbed. You left me and you went. It's such a mapping and a mirror image. Everything that we do has got a subtle reason. You left me and you went, so when he come back, she is very angry with him. She does not want to watch him, look at him. And then he is speaking very nice words to me. I am very sorry I left you. But actually what he did, hunting, means he went to look for another female. He went to look for other, means he is looking for other types of intelligence. Same. Let me hear somebody else say something. Very nice. That's why you can browse and see so many different people talking about the same topic. Oh, this is very good. That's very nice. It's very good. None of them are true, but you are hunting for different types of enjoyments intellectually. And you like this, you like that, you like this. So when he comes back to intelligence that he possesses, part of him, that Puranjani is saying, why did you go out and look for others when I am there available to you? Right? Your intelligence is always going to suggest to you, like it's mentioned here, how to enjoy. It is false intelligence. According to me, it is artificial intelligence. This is the real artificial intelligence. What is it? Puranjani. Puranjani is AI. But you as a spirit soul have a capacity to have RI, real intelligence. That's why you're going out and saying, I want to hear somebody else. So you hear somebody else, immediately your intelligence will not like it. You want to be under control. Mind, intelligence, everything. There's a whole hierarchy. And there's a whole system there. How by the three modes of material nature we are forced to follow the instructions of our material intelligence, how the mind comes under the material intelligence, how the mind feels, thinks, wills, and subjects you to one type of experience. It's an amazing illusion. It's an amazing trap. It's an amazing jail. And if you don't study all these things, you will never get to know you're in the jail. That's a horrible thing. Knowledge means knowing who you are, where you are, why you are here, and how you don't belong here. This is knowledge. So real knowledge will come to you from an intelligence outside of you. From an intelligence outside of you. That's why you must seek. Ata atho brahma jigyasa. You must seek another person's good advice, who is called Sadguru. I'm sorry. Who is called bona fide Guru. Who is called bona fide Guru. Who is coming in the proper parampara. And he is fixed in the truth. He is fixed in the truth. And he uncompromisingly tells you, this is what is happening to you. You are stuck. Just like Narada Muni is telling Prachinabari. Prachinabari at the end will ask, somehow this story I am not understanding very well. What is this? He will ask. Then Narada Muni said, now you are asking, I'll tell you the real meaning of this allegorical story. And he goes, because he is asking, he tells him. Further, very beautifully explains. A brilliant understanding. Narada Muni is instantly weaving out that story and speaking extempore to him spontaneously. And then he gives a special purport to that. And then he says, can you explain this more? And then he says, you want to know more? I'll tell you more. And then Prachinabari comes to know, oh, this is me. I am stuck like this. So knowledge comes to you by the fortune that you have bestowed on you by a person who has no other business but to make you fortunate. But to make you fortunate. I just want to simply give you this knowledge. You don't have to pay me anything. You have not asked for it. But I feel you need it because you are stuck. I can see you're stuck. Narada Muni can see Prachina Bari, thinks he's a very great king, I have that, I have this, I am this and that and everything, but he's a fool. He doesn't have anything with him. He doesn't have anything. He thinks he's great. So when you get to know real facts, you really know, I am a nobody. I am nothing. It's Krishna who is everything, and his devotees are everything. By their mercy, I am becoming something. You become very grateful. Real gratefulness comes when you awaken in spiritual knowledge. Then only you experience really gratefulness. In the material world, you are grateful. Sometimes people give you something materially good, an experience. They help you out materially, and you must be grateful. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing to be grateful. But purifying gratefulness comes when you recognize your horrible situation and you recognize the help given by somebody to you to elevate you from that situation. Then you become very grateful to that person. Because without me asking for it, you gave me this. That's the meaning of saying, Chakshur unmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. You forcefully opened my eyes. I am not interested. I want to sleep. You said, no, wake up. And you open your eyelids and say, see. Forcefully opens my eyes and gives me the truth. And even when he is doing that, I don't like him, I don't want it. Then once it clicks in me, and immediately I start appreciating it. I start get value for it. And then you become valuable to me. But till then you are not at all valuable. In fact, you are nobody. Don't come near me. I don't like you. So spiritual life means you turn a person 180 degrees, completely different. That's why in the material world people tell me, you, what you're telling, you're talking something completely wrong. This is 180 degrees that side. Oh, very bad. My son is becoming, my daughter is becoming, I want to get them back. Oh, this, that. No. No. This is what is your original direction. This is what you are originally. Right? This is what you are originally. So, that is explained in the Bhagavad Gita very nicely. Krishna is speaking about those who cannot see it, cannot understand it, and who are doomed by material nature. And he's speaking about those who are taking up these instructions and able to see the truth. So all these stories, every story in the Bhagavatam actually is teaching you something. It's not simply story. That is why Krishna is saying, Katayantas chamam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. It is not simply enjoying it as a story alone. Because everybody can write a story. And sometimes you will feel that the author has written much better story than this story, which you are showing me in the Bhagavatam. You will say, Game of Thrones is a wonderful story. What imagination. Wow. And what about Lord of Rings? It's an amazing story. There's no such story anywhere. There's no such story anywhere. Story everybody can weave out from thin air according to the imagination you have. But these are not just ordinary stories. These are actually happened. They happened actually. And each one of the stories is putting you in touch with the truth. Putting you in touch with Krishna, the supreme absolute truth. And in that there are so many lessons for you to learn. In that Leela of Krishna. So what story, what lesson can you learn from Game of Thrones? What can you learn? Is there any lesson you can learn for life, to progress in life? You can't. It is simply a story, full stop. It's a wild story. It's somebody's imagination running amok. But that's not the only point about a story. It's not about imagination. It's not about storytelling alone. It's about lessons that you get from that story. That, if you read in the Bhagavatam, you will get that. And this story told by Narada Muni has got deep lessons. On one level lesson, and another level, and another level, and another level. And all levels there are lessons to be learned. Because it's about you and me. How we are situated in this material world. What is happening to us? why we must wake up, and how we must wake up, what we should do. These are all amazing lessons that are given here, especially in this story of Narada Muni speaking about Puranjana and giving instructions to King Prachinabari that you are a wonderful, great king, and you are thinking you are accumulating lot of piety by doing all these sacrifices and everything, but that is not the real meaning of Vedic literature. That is not the real meaning of life. You have got on the wrong track. And he tells him, all the animals that you are putting in the yajna, they are all waiting for you. Look in the sky. They are waiting for you to die. They'll catch you on your way up and they'll finish you. Don't think that it is only pious thing and you're getting some credit alone. There are laws, there are rules in this world how things happen. In this way he educates him very wonderfully. So on one layer you see, very beautiful girl. This whole shloka we've been hearing, your nose is very high, your lips are so nice, your face is so good, sa'ananam, tvad ananam subhru sutara lochanam, vyalambini lalaka vrinda samvritam. In the same way there's description of Krishna also. His beautiful face, his raised nose. There's a similar shloka coming in many places in the Bhagavatam. Yasyananam, what is it? Brajit Kapola Suvilagam Vilasahasam. Your bright smile, Krishna's Vilasahasam. There's a description in the similar way that Krishna's nose is also raised, his broad forehead, his makara kundalam, his beautiful ears, his beautiful eyes, and his lovely cheeks, and his chin, and all this is described very beautifully. That is not the same thing like this. This is a description of the relative beauty, and that is a description of absolute beauty. Both are inside the Bhagavatam. Both are inside the same pages of the Bhagavatam. But distinctly you can see the difference if you understand what is being described. So we should get attracted to the beauty of Krishna, and we should not be very attracted to the beauty of the opposite sex. That is the lesson. It's a very simple lesson. In the relative world, we may see good, bad, that, this, everything. But if we get stuck in that, you'll become imprisoned. Krishna, Prabhupada is explaining in the purport that Dvandva Mohena Bharata. Dvandva. I don't like this, I like this. This is this binary. Good, bad, I like, I don't like, black, white, 1, 2, 0, 1, all these binaries. This world is made out of that. If you get stuck in that, you will become lost in these relative things. But we must actually learn to go beyond this and learn to understand Krishna, Krishna's instructions, Krishna's beauty, Krishna's beautiful form. And in this way, when we get absorbed in the absolute truth, we'll get relieved of the relative. We'll no more find it very attractive. We'll no more find members of the opposite sex very attractive, because I've got attached to something far, far more attractive. Far, far more attractive. Krishna. So in the Bhagavatam, you will see illusion also described and the negativity associated with that illusion. And positively, absolute truth also described, and the beautiful description of the qualities of Krishna, the absolute truth. So the soul has got a natural tendency to actually get attracted to Krishna. In the illusory state, we are lost, and to awaken us from that, we need the fortune of devotees like Narada Muni. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is such a person in modern times. He is the Narada Muni of modern times. He has come into this world and he has boldly presented the truth, not afraid of all the relative things around him. He is very boldly presented. All over the world he has traveled and presented, this is the truth. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the absolute truth. If you become attracted to the absolute truth, Krishna, you will be saved from this relative world. In this way, he has boldly presented Krishna's pastimes and he has given us the beautiful Srimad Bhagavatam. It is up to us to take advantage of the wonderful books of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and become safe, secure in the shelter of Krishna. Om Tat Sat. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Any question or comment? Yeah.
So in this Puranjana story, we see that the intelligence is referred as Puranjani. So how can literally he can leave that intelligence and go for hunting?
He did not leave. He did not leave. While having that intelligence, he did hunting.
He's not taking that.
Pardon? Not taking?
He's having that material intelligence, and it's given if he's leaving that intelligence and is going for hunting.
Yes.
Leaving his wife and is going for hunting.
Yes.
How can we understand this?
Well, that's a technical thing. This is an example. This is a story. You don't have to examine it so technically. You should understand what the example tries to convey. The story in itself is not to be examined technically. But the example you should understand is, we seek other intelligence. Intellectually, we want to have variety. One thing is your own intelligence, which is very dear to you. My idea, my thought, my understanding, how I have cracked this brilliant thing. It's my possession through my everybody is very attached to intelligence as much as everybody is very attached to his wife. That's the comparison here. But if somebody brings out something better than you, your intelligence, then you can get threatened. You can get threatened. In the same way, Puranjani is made an animated intelligence. The intelligence is animated. She is telling, why you are going behind somebody else, some other woman? Means, why are you seeking somebody else's advice? I will give you advice, you keep to me. Why? You have to remain trapped inside this body and you have to suffer your karma. You have to suffer the threefold miseries. You have to suffer the three gunas. So therefore she is telling, don't go anywhere, okay? Stay here only with me. That is what it is. Conditioning. And you also will listen, yes, I'm very sorry. I like you so much. You know, when you give me all those wonderful ideas, I love you. My intelligence, you are mine. You become closer and closer to it. That's why if Krishna gives advice, you cannot listen. If Sadguru gives an advice, like Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, it's difficult to listen because you're very attached to your intelligence. Then you say, but why did you say this? But how do I understand this? No, I can't believe it. It's your intelligence operating. But then there is another factor to intelligence. Paramatma in the heart. So when you have to get out of the grip of your intelligence, you cannot do it on your own. That's why the pure devotee comes and puts inside. And then from Paramatma inside will say, yes, that is correct. That's correct. And then you're, wow, he's correct. I liked that what he said. Plus from inside I'm getting reinforcement. That is correct. These are all not same. Still your intelligence is telling, don't listen. Don't listen to three people are playing here. Three intelligences are acting here. And that is why Puranjani is telling, don't listen to Guru. Don't listen to Prabhupada. Don't listen to what's mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Listen to me. I'm your wife. And you will tend to listen to again. Invariably you will act only according to your intelligence. According to your wife only you will act. You understand? It is sometimes we say that this man is completely controlled by his wife. It's supposed to be like that. Supposed to be like that. In material world means supposed to be like that. Because that is the same parallel Narada Muni is telling. We are all controlled by our material intelligence. Right? To spiritualize your intelligence, you have to listen to Guru. Bona fide Guru. And you have to listen to the Paramatma who is resonating with that Guru. Then your intelligence will change. It will become spiritualized. Then all three will speak the same. And then you become very peaceful. I am perfectly comfortable with what Krishna has said. I will do that only. That is the nexus. But now you are not being allowed to listen. Because why? Puranjani is telling, why are you going here and there? I am there for you. The mind and intelligence together are doing it. So for the soul to understand that I am such a trap, it requires another person to tell. And then also he will not believe. Because Puranjani is very close to you, controlling you so much. So the conditioning of the soul is very severe. It's not only the body, physical body. It is the mind, it is the intelligence, then the gunas and everything together. Severe control. Nobody can say that he is free. He is a fool to say he is free. That's why in the material world people recognize you for how nicely you are conditioned. You get awards for the person who is conditioned the best will get Nobel Prize. Because he has used his material intelligence the best. Puranjani is, actually the award is going to Puranjani. This fellow is taking, my wife, she is the reason behind my success. They'll proudly say it. It's true. Puranjani inside your head. She is the reason for it. Everybody, whether man or woman, it's not about woman and man. Whether man or woman, everybody is under the control of a Puranjani. It's an allegorical story. So you must understand it carefully. Yes. Any other question or comment? Yeah.
We know that there's a difference between the animal and human being. There are both these common, like eating, we heard that only the human being will have the intelligence. Otherwise you will not be like equal to animal. How we can take this intelligence?
So it means that developed intelligence. It does not mean that the animal does not have intelligence. It has very lowly developed intelligence. It can just about understand eating, mating, sleeping, defending. Only for that it will be running around whole day. A little sometimes dog means will be faithful to the master a little bit. Like that little bit, extra little emotion here and there you will see. That's all. But the human being has got developed intelligence. He can understand difference between matter and spirit. That capacity he has got. So if you don't utilize that capacity and use it to understand spirit, then you are an animal only. If you only indulge in ahar, nidra, bhayamaitunam cha samani etat pashubir naranam. If you indulge only in that, then your intelligence is not being put to full use. You remain animal. You remain animal. So the difference between animal and human being means one who is inquiring about the absolute truth. Atato brahma jignasa. That person who is making, it will be difficult only. Who's inside inquiring and I'm not getting answer and I'm not satisfied, I want to find this out, I'm chanting Hare Krishna and I'm trying to do seva, it's all challenging. But something very good is waking up. It's a growing pain. It's growing spiritually, it will be painful materially. That pain is not spiritually painful. It's material pain for growing spiritually. So if you tolerate that, after some time, it becomes perfectly comfortable. And you become very happy. And you become very solidly situated in the truth. And then there is no more pain. Just like when you're growing into becoming an adult, you're learning lot of things. Don't do that, don't do this, if I do that, this will happen, this will happen. Growth is pain. But once he has grown to some extent, he looks back at all that, it's nothing. You feel that is nothing. compared to what I have learned till now. You become very comfortably situated with those type of problems. It is no more a problem for you. Why? Because you're grown. But you can see your child is similarly having that same problem and say, don't worry, it'll all become all right. You're giving why? Out of confidence you're telling. This is nothing. You'll find much bigger problem, my dear son, in life. This is nothing. You will come across it. Don't worry. You're actually confidently telling. No. Same way, when you grow spiritually, you will actually become confident that these material problems are actually nothing. They are not really important. Right? This distinction you are able to make, no, that's a human being. Matter, spirit, that only human beings will. Kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yattad jnanam matam mama. That's why Krishna is saying in the 13th chapter, one who knows the spirit and one who knows matter, or one who knows the soul and the super soul and matter, this body, is a person who is really in knowledge. Knowledge starts from there only. You must know matter and spirit. So it's a human being capable of using his intelligence to understand matter and spirit and distinguish them. Then you are proper civilized human being. You are an Arya. Aryan means one who knows difference between matter and spirit, and he conducts himself according to that proper culture. He is called Arya. He is in knowledge. He acts like that. He will be cultured in his behavior. Got it? Any other question or comment? Yeah.
From Hariharan, Hare Krishna Maharaj, how to differentiate heart and mind?
By the function. By function. Mind, thinking, feeling, willing. Our situation is such that we have not got that level of realization or intelligence to distinguish those subtle things. But at least by function we can understand. When you're going through the experience of emotions, thinking, feeling, willing, then you know your mind is acting. You're overcome by that. The whole system is overcome by that. So you're suffering. That feeling, that mind is operating, predominantly operating. But sometimes if you're sitting in the examination and you're writing the answer, what is that? Oh, yeah. This intelligence is operating. Discriminating, memory, doubt, comprehension, very peak level intelligence is operating in the examination hall. You go and see all of them. They just don't do anything else. They're just operating on the intelligence platform. Then when they come back home and they have a fight, then they're acting on the emotional platform, the mental platform. When the fight becomes physical, they're acting on the physical platform. Addi. They're on the physical platform. So mental, intellectual, physical, all these are external to the soul. But you can be on the spiritual platform of seeing everything that's happening. I am not this person who is doing all these things. I am not he. I am spirit soul. Aham Brahmasmi. And it detaches himself completely from matter. Then he is on the spiritual platform. Then he can be on the devotional platform higher than that, experiencing love of Krishna. Experiencing love of Krishna. So the soul is experiencing all these things. These are all various levels of consciousness. In different levels of consciousness, he is experiencing different. But the highest is experience of bhakti, devotion. So as a soul, you are capable of all these things. You are capable of all these things. One of those material states is in a mental state. Sometimes you are too much mentally impaired. You go into depression and all that. Because your mind is totally taken over. And you need help. Your intelligence is not able to overcome the mind. It has become, partner with the mind. Both of them together will trouble you, then the mind will take over. It will use the intelligence to give you intelligence how to be in depression. That type of thoughts will come. See, it'll be completely negativity. Complete negativity. And somebody has to counsel you. No, you're that. To a person who is depressed, you cannot say, everything will become all right, you'll attain Mukti, chant Hare Krishna, and you can walk off. That you are a great Bhakti platform. You came from Bhakti platform, but you are also not on that platform. You're only speaking that. So that is why it doesn't work. When you go, Bhagavad Gita lo sollirukku, Thanadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vaja. Prabhu, I am suffering. It doesn't work. Why? What he needs is, okay, Bhakti and all is correct, and sit down now and help you on the mental platform. Right? I help you where you are from there. And then I slowly help you to come out of it. And then you become confident about me. Then I tell you, no, you chant Hare Krishna, very important. You'll chant. You'll actually chant. But when I'm on the severe mental platform, I am already chanting. I have seen this. Don't tell him to chant. Don't tell him to chant this thing now and punish him that you did not chant, that's why it's happening. The person is in the mental platform, he's stuck. You cannot go and punish him spiritually for it. You can't take that punishment. It doesn't sink inside him. No use. So, people go on different levels according to their consciousness. And it's the soul who's experiencing it in different levels. Isn't it? So, mostly people are in the bodily conscious and mental level. In the material world, everybody is on mind and body. Very low. Where is my food? Where is my sense gratification? Where is that? Where is this? That will be in that only. Making money, cheating everybody, fighting with everybody, also one platform of consciousness is there. Everybody is in that. But there are intellectual people. I'm not interested in making money and becoming powerful. No. Knowledge is power. I'm finding out this. Very busy on the intelligent platform. Jnani. So different people go on different platform according to what attracts them. Right? So, mind and heart you spoke about. Heart is where the soul is. Heart is where real feelings as a soul you can express, that is there. When you say that you don't have a heart, in India, when they say you don't have a heart, it means that chumma buddhi, keeping on talking. Whenever a fight happens between a husband and wife, I've always seen, the wife will speak from the emotional platform, husband will speak from the intellectual platform. Payankara sanda. Because of that. You don't see. No, you don't understand. Why? Speaking from two different platforms. The male member always turns out to be analytical, intellectual, and all these things. But the female tends to be emotional, heart-oriented, feelings, all that. So you'll see that there's a mismatch. It's a mismatch. So an understanding couple are those who understand, oh, fine, I attend to it. I attend to your feeling. It's important to attend to that. Right? In the same way, the wife will also think, here goes my husband. Analytically, he's talking this and that and all that. I agree, but, but this is also important. In this way, you'll see that difference. All people are like that. The design is like that. It's not about being woman or man. The design is like that. Isn't it? So, that's why Prabhupada said that women will very easily take up Krishna consciousness. They have that emotional makeup and that heart to worship Krishna, to have that feeling. So Prabhupada always commented that when you have a religious gathering, most of them are women. They'll come and hear the story and feel very much, and they will do what you say much easily. But men will say, talk like that. It'll be difficult for them they have to intellectually analyze it and go through from philosophy and everything and take it up. Have you seen this difference? Very easily. You'll see that. So actually for women it is easy, very simply they take to Krishna consciousness. They don't need some great intellectual help and all that. Though sometimes there are also women who would be good in that also, in doing that also. But these are all These are all according to how we are structured. As Atma, you are neither man nor woman. You are simply Atma, period. Soul, period. Isn't it? So, when you say from the heart, you generally mean something higher than the mind and the intelligence. Closer to spirituality. Closer to devotion. Right? So that's another big topic. I don't want to get into it immediately. It's a different domain. So, heart feelings are normally associated with soul feelings. Original feeling. Sometimes we do get that platform and we do feel from that point. Especially when we are expressing our love and devotion to Krishna, we are doing it from the heart. We are not doing it from the mind, we are not doing it from the intelligence. We are doing it from the heart. When we relate with people, especially with devotees, we relate from the heart. When we relate with the Jnani, we'll relate from the intelligence. Those are some of the few things that I know. Any other question or comment? Om Tat Sat. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nittai Gaur Premanande.